Gur míle mágat Alaskan cóirlaí agus bhfuil takeíocht a thuairt don bille seo agus fáilte chur ribh an lucht oibre mar gheall ar an bille seo a chur os cóir na Dála. I'd like to thank the Labour Party for putting this motion before the Dáil today, and I'd like to say that it is a bill that needs to be supported right around this chamber. The clock is ticking towards famine in Gaza. They are the words of the head of the UN Agency for Palestine. This is no natural famine. This is no natural disaster. It is a man-made famine designed to clear Gaza of Palestinians. And that sentence, man-made famine, is a sentence that resonates in Ireland more than any other country in the world. In Ireland, we lost over 1 million people to a man-made famine, starved to death in horrendous situations and circumstances. We lost well over 1 million people to emigration because of man-made famine. Families who are ripped from their communities and their loved ones and forced to emigrate to other countries in the world. In 1847, we saw famine used as a tool of ethnic cleansing in this country. And the sentence man-made famine resonates far deeper and a far more visceral level here in Ireland than any other country. The London Times at the time stated that Irish people will be as rare as Indians in Manhattan as a result of the ethnic cleansing that was happening. And that darkness of that famine still throws a shadow over this country even today. Ireland is one of the few countries in the world where its population is actually still less than it was in the 1840s. Famine as a weapon of war is a war crime. And as a result of our experience, this demands a response from us that is far stronger, far more real, and far more effective than the response of this government so far. It demands that we cannot sit in our hands. It demands that we cannot just use words in relation to this particular crisis. It demands that we use every single tool that we have to make sure that there is change and pressure brought on Israel in relation to what it's doing at the moment. The Israeli government have murdered 53,000 people. Hamas has murdered 1,700 people. Hamas is a terrorist organisation, and Hamas must release all its hostages. But Benjamin Netanyahu has murdered 51 times the number of people that a terrorist organisation has murdered. And I will say, every life is sacred. We aim to believe that 100%. But the idea that we have a state murdering 51 times the number of people than a terrorist organisation is absolutely quite shocking. I've never imagined that I'd see such death and destruction. Israeli bombs landing on tents, schools and hospitals. Israeli bombs atomising the bodies of children. I've never thought that I would see such an horrendous abuse of human rights as we're seeing at the moment. And 70% of the people who are being killed in Gaza are women and children. And this figure is even higher if you include on all the non-combatants in relation to this. And I'm a student of history, and I could never get my head around the fact that you see such horrendous situations happening in history, and yet you see society travel on as normal as if really nothing has happened. That the proportionate response from society is never what it should be, that actually only war crimes seem to be only understood in the past tense and not in the present tense. And that sentence that was used earlier today in the chamber, that one day everybody will have opposed the murder of civilians in Gaza, I think is an incredibly strong sentence. But the problem is that if war crimes and murder are only understood in the past tense, that means we can never actually act in the present tense to stop them. And that's what's demanded of this country now. I think one of the problems that we have at the moment is the EU and the United States have underwritten the actions of Israel, and as a result, they have allowed for this to happen. The EU's response has been anemic at best. Ursula von der Leyen strode the world stage at the start of this crisis, saying that she had full support behind Israel in its time of need. Ursula von der Leyen distorted the foreign policy views of the Irish people on an international level. And that is one of the reasons why I think it is wrong that we outsource so much of our foreign policy to the EU in relation to this. We need a situation where this country starts to use every tool, and we in Aintu want the government to make sure that the Occupied Territories Bill is implemented ASAP. Gurb Mahagat.
Thank you, Deputy Richard.